which is just like so gruesome and so crazy. But it makes for a really cool story as to why there's now this building literally smack in the middle of this square, and it looks so different and so unique to other ones because it's a beautiful day in Krakow today. It's 26 degrees. We've had a couple of really nice days actually, haven't we? Today we're going to try and figure out the tram system because we haven't done that. we tried to call an Uber and we got 5 or 6 cancellations in a row, which is really weird because Ubers are really cheap here. We took one to get to our place here and it was all good.
We're just feeling a bit lazy today. We could walk it, but we're like, right, let's figure out this tram situation.
It's 2.5k, so we're going into the Old Town, which is the oldest, like the square is the oldest square in Europe, basically. So it's the largest square, and one of the oldest. So it's quite a cool place. It is a little bit of distance from where we are now, though. So we're gonna go figure out this tram situation, see how much it costs, and make our way over. So we only had to go 3 stops. There's an app that we've been using actually, which is Stacey got heads up that will be helpful while we're here. I don't know what it is, I can't remember the name of it. I'll link it in the description below if you are coming to Poland. It seems like a really good way to get around. So basically told us we walked to the station, we had 3 stops, and then now we've got a walk which we can just map on our phones easily enough. And it was $3.80, although I get the feeling there might be a ticket that's actually a little bit cheaper than that. But pretty simple. We figure this stuff out often in new cities, so that was definitely pretty straightforward. So once you've bought your ticket, you just jump on and you can validate it. In fact, I think we could have even bought our tickets on the tram as well, which would have made life easy. I don't even know if we need to map though, because I can see in the distance down here, there's this massive like spire or like top of a castle, and I get the feeling that's right in the middle of the old town. We're just looking at a map and it seems like this park sort of area, so we just got off, well we've just walked from over here, but it seems like this park sort of circles right the way around the old town. You can do like a little bit of a loop. You can see people just come and just hang out, buy some local treats, although we don't actually know if that's a good price or if that's like a overpriced thing because of the area, but yeah, really cool little area. So we're walking in this direction, we think, and we should pop out into the old town in a couple hundred meters. So we've instantly stumbled onto like a bit of a market here where there's food being prepped. You can buy coffee, there's clothes, all sorts of the typical sort of trinkets and all of that sort of stuff, all sorts of handmade stuff and everything as well. Those things as well, which I don't know what the rulings are here, but in Prague we got a bit of stuff, a bit of shit from the local Czech people for thinking that was a Czech treat when it clearly wasn't. Yeah, it's really cool. There's a guy playing music as well. You can buy wine, sit down and have some food and everything. Really enjoying the vibe. First impressions around here is there's a lot more tourists in the areas that we've been in, but it's also so large that it seems quite spaced out. There's typical sort of like European and awesome cobblestone streets, and then there's this really nice feeling walking through here because these buildings are all so high. You sort of feel like you're walking through castle walls or something, and get the impression that down there is where it's going to sort of open up. These are the tidbits that we love about traveling, and it sounds like Poland and Krakow as a whole have got so many of these weird legends that are just really awesome. Behind me is it's the St. Mary's Cathedral. The gory story about this, what's a legend you never really know, is you can see like there's different heights between the spires on the end which have been added, and they're not the same either, which it looks really weird. They look awesome, but it looks different to what like a normal architecture like finished building would be. And the story goes that there were 2 brothers that were supposed to build one each And when one brother realized that his older brother had built one higher, which was, he was jealous of, basically he ended up killing his brother. And then he was so filled with remorse that the knife that he'd used to stab him with, like, I don't know what the period was until later on, but then he was so filled with remorse about killing his own brother that he killed himself with the exact same knife and fell from the top, which is just like so gruesome and so crazy. But it makes for a really cool story as to why there's now this building literally smack in the middle of the square, and it looks so different and so unique to other ones because just that this random story behind these brothers basically like having beef over a building.
So Danger mentioned the size of this place. We knew it was going to be big, but we didn't realize quite how big it was going to be. So we've just been like wandering around in circles because we can't figure out which direction we want to go in. There's so many things happening. We're kind of a little bit disoriented, but it's really cool. It kind of puts the square that we visited in Prague to shame a little bit in terms of size. It's crazy.
Yeah, because as far as we knew, the one in Prague was one large square, which was pretty similar size to where we just were. We've just walked about, I don't know, maybe 200 meters from that point there over to where we are now in the shade because it's so hot. And there's this whole other side to the square. It's this massive clock in the square here as well. There's a really cool head statue thing down there as well. And then again, you've got all of these little restaurants lining the way along there, and all of these side streets are like the ways in and out, which is what we walked in at the first place, where we said it was, although you're walking through like castle walls or something, but it's just absolutely huge. Now that we've had a good look around the main area of the old square and St. Mary's and stuff, we're trying to walking some side alleys now, or the little connecting streets off. Really fun to explore. In fact, this is definitely more our vibe. If you've been watching us for a while, you know we enjoy seeing those big centres and touristy bits, but just the volume of people, it's quite intense, and we definitely prefer a slower pace of travel rather than intense tourism, so to speak. But we've seen that now, happy with that, but now we're just hunting around these little side streets, going to try and find somewhere we can sit down, slow our pace a bit, have a beer maybe, and just sort of people watch for a while, just enjoy ourselves. It's the sort of stuff we like doing. We definitely don't have to hunt very hard. If you want to find a beer or a coffee around this place, or some food, it is extremely accessible. You do pay a premium though, so we found a little spot which is just on the edge of the square, so we've been people watching, which is quite good. We had a local beer here which is 12 zloty, which is definitely on the high side for what you'd pay. To put that in perspective, last night when we were watching the UEFA final, we bought some beers from the supermarket which were, I think, under 3 or about 3 for 500 ml as well, so huge difference. But it's a good spot we've got here where, like I said, with people watching. There's a little bit of a crowd that's joined now as it's got a little bit later on in the evening now, but enough that we can still sort of feel like we're part of it, but just be on the edge, which sort of sums up our whole life of travel really, which is literally all that we've been talking about. One of the things that we don't really share too much on this channel is like the behind the scenes stuff, but we do a little bit when we do our behind the scenes vlogs of like what a day in the life is like for us, but travel about where we're going to next and what we're up to is one of the biggest things that we discuss. And at the moment, our hardest thing is that we only get 90 days in Schengen zone within a 180-day period. And we've got the next few months planned out, but we don't know what we're going to do after that. And the Schengen rules are actually going to control a lot of that. So we've got some massive decisions we need to make as to where we're going to be at the end of the year. All positive stuff, but it does become quite like a drain trying to figure out where to next and what we're going to do. How are we going to get there? What are the options? What can you do when you get there? But yeah, so we're just sitting here enjoying some drinks, watching the world go by. So we hung around for a couple of hours there, and time sort of got away on us. We were planning on going to a castle, which is about 1 kilometre away. But we just sort of don't really have the time now, do we?
No.
The sun's about to set, well, you can see it actually coming through just as we're around this corner here. So that was really cool exploring the centre, but I mean, historic, yes. Amazing, yes. Massive, yes.
But we have just got back to our place, and we're sort of just taking a minute and reflecting on like what a cool day that was, but also kind of happy that we've decided to stay in a more local neighborhood, because it kind of gives you more of a, what we're saying, like kind of like an authentic kind of vibe for
where we live. And I think we mentioned in the last video, we'll share some of that later on, but where we live feels like Poland. We're in Poland.
Yeah, like
right?
we've integrated into the neighborhood, into the community, whereas in the old town kind of feels quite your typical tourist experience, which is great. We're not knocking it.
Not knocking on it at all. I think if you are coming to Krakow and you've only got like a limited amount of days, you have to go and see the old square.
Beautiful.
Like we always make sure that we go and do those things because you have to go and see it. But there's so much more of the city as well that you have to explore, and we've got a list that is honestly so big of stuff that we are going to do and that we're going to film and that we'll be sharing. And you can see us smiling a little bit more, like we're almost more excited about some of the other stuff that we get the chance that we're going to go and explore and share with you guys as well. So we will catch you in the next video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the comments.
Bye.
Bye.